You can stick your new world order up your ass. You can stick your new world order up your ass. You can stick your new world order when the sun don't shine but oughta. Stick your new world order up your ass. Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 90. Together we are mighty. We are the 99%. We don't be arrested in a dressing gown. We don't be arrested in a dressing gown. We don't be arrested in a, she is such a sinner. She'll be arrested in a dressing gown. Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 90. Together we are mighty. We are the 99%. There'll be blue skies when the chemtrails are all gone. There'll be blue skies when the chemtrails are all gone. There'll be blue skies when the chemtrails and the evil plant fails. Blue skies when the chemtrails are all gone. Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 90. Together we are mighty. We are the 99%. You can stick your poison vaccines up your ass. You can stick your TV programs up your ass. You can stick your GMO foods, but we ain't gonna go school. Stick your Georgia Guidestones up your ass. Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 90. Together we are mighty. We are the 99%. Oh, I'd rather be a human than a slave. Oh, I'd rather be a human than a slave. Oh, I'd rather be a human. Don't you know that you can rather be a human than a slave? You can stick your new world order up your ass. You can stick your new world order up your ass. You can stick your new world order when the sun don't shine but oughta. Stick your new world order up your ass.
Yes, indeed. Stick it up their ass, all right? And make them eat it again. When it comes out their mouth, put it back in there, and it comes back out their bum. No. Good evening. It's Friday, the 28th of September. About another 4 more days and it's New Year. Hopefully everyone's doing fine. But if you want to get a hold of me, blattonboy@gmail.com is the email. BLATTINBOY@gmail.com. Facebook page is Rob E.T. Tamatea Tūhaka. Miwi is Rob Tamatea Tūhaka. And if you want to also get a hold of me on Skype, it's Blatton100. That's BLATTIN 100. And that's capital as well. But anyway, let's get into the show. History. That's what we're going to be doing, New Zealand history. So pretty much we'll start off in 1835. We had signed the Declaration of Independence, so we were under that for about 5 years. And then about 1840, the Treaty of what we acknowledge as the Treaty of Waitangi had come into play. Pretty much. Sorry, I'm just getting attacked, but yeah, it seems to always happen when I'm doing a radio show. But anyhow, before I get into that, here in New Zealand we've got 52 tribes. Not all 52 did sign, including Maitu and also Tuhoi, which is the tribe that is classed as an independent state. So pretty much when the treaty there was 3 treaties. You had the English Treaty, which that's the one they acknowledge. You had the Māori Treaty, which is the one we acknowledge, and then you had the Māori translated to English Treaty. All treaties are different when you sort of get into the guts and the comparison of it. So, yeah, a lot of a lot of tribes knew that it was a massive genocide from the start, so they didn't sign, their leaders. So New Zealand is sort of half sovereign, half not, if you know what I mean. Some of the tribes are not sovereign, where you see others are, due to the fact that they didn't sign. Pretty much not long after that, about 1845 to about 62, they had a war break out. And everyone knows what war does. It makes all the women look after all the children by themselves, or having to have the polygamy system come in due to the fact of not enough men around. And of course, when the men come back from war, they suffer trauma and everything like that. So besides it being a business, it really traumatizes people spiritually, and also they carry it on to their next lives. But we had a sort of a diplomatic leader. His name was Te Kooti, and if you do research on Te Kooti, he's got a lot of documentaries. You will see some of this. He was a sovereign. He never signed the treaty, so he was still a sovereign. Because pretty much what happened was we weren't governed by a body in 1840. But the ones that came over were from Victoria in Australia. That's how come they came over here. And also, if you know, there was a company over in England called the New Zealand Company, and they were selling our land before they even came over here. So they were saying that, oh, yep, here's the map, this land is yours, yep. So pretty much when they came over here and, oh, where's our land? And they say, hey, there's people on our land. And sure enough, that's when the war started, because of the simple fact that the land that they were promised was already protected. I wouldn't say owned, because back then we didn't have such a thing as ownership. It was the law of kaitiaki, which is a protectors of the land rather than ownership. So pretty much fast forward to about 1860, where Te Kooti sort of caused havoc. He was actually locked in the Chatham Islands for a few years, wrongfully jailed, just the simple fact that he was a sovereign, and he never, and he sort of rebelled against the government and the government's enemies. So I mean, he was a kettle of fish on his own. So yeah, he did a lot of things, and I guess Te Kooti, his information is out there. That's TE space KOOTI. So if you want to do research on him, you'll find a lot of history there. I actually linked him because he's from Rongo-Whakaata, which is in the Manatuki area in Gisborne, New Zealand, on the outskirts. And the tribes there, that's where he come from. I come from Te Aitanga Mahaki, which is Waituhi, Patutahi, Gisborne, New Zealand, and I also come from Ngāti Porou, which is pretty much from just past Tokomaru Bay and up. So that's the coastways here in New Zealand. If you look at a map, pretty much the bottom of the east coast is Gisborne, and then if you go up the east coast, that's pretty much where my dad's side's from, or my dad's family. So I come from a line of two chiefs personally. That's probably what my passion comes from, is my two chief lines. Both were sovereign, never signed. So that's another thing. Even though the Western framework managed to creep its way into our society illegally, unlawfully. Excuse me, just getting notifications. So, for us New Zealanders, it was, our sovereignty sort of wasn't abolished. It was more just taken away, and through lies and programming and everything like that, taking advantage of the situation, as they say. But fast forward to today, honestly, you see the result of colonization. So this is why I am propagating the movement, because of our history. There's a lot of history, and I can't honestly compact it into a 15-minute show. To tell you the truth, I could probably run a 10-hour show and I still won't get through half of the history. So I'm just having a brief, this is only a brief timeline. and I will get into it at later shows, but that's pretty much how New Zealand is the way it is. Half of it's actually still sovereign. 1917, that's when Tūhoe got hit, because it's been classed as an independent state. A lot of stuff unlawfully happened on their lands, like policemen going to raid. And I guess it's a 90 year loop, because 2007 Operation 8 happened, so pretty much I'll explain about that more, because I don't really know about the 1917 one. It's need more research, but Operation 8, that also, and this is on YouTube. You just type in Operation 8 Tūhoe, Tuhoe, and then it'll come up. Pretty much all that started from was someone from that area saying they're going to catapult a bus over Bush's head. That statement pretty much made Operation 8 happen. I know it sounds stupid and things like that, but unfortunately, I think some people might have taken it literally. Whatever, but, I just have to honestly laugh about it. Because at the end of the day, it is stupid. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. But, a lot of kids were held at gunpoint and all that. A lot of old people were told to squat in sheds for hours while they so good looking for these terrorist weapons that they speculated about there, which they found nothing. There was even one incident where it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and the gate, there was in the countryside of the Uruweras, there was a gate open, but the people, when they came to raid this particular property, instead of going through the gate, they went through the fucking fence. Like, I'm sorry to swear, but it just goes to show what people are so duh sometimes, that they see an open gate, no, they want to just bust the fence down. And it's like, why would you do that? So, I mean, it's a lot of traumatizing history. I can probably get into the power wars that have happened even around the area I'm at, because I'm out the country in Waituhi, broadcasting off a pocket router, a Huawei pocket router, because the internet here only goes 1 megabit per second, which is so slow, where at least the 3G mobile pocket router goes at least 15 to 20 megabits, so enough to hold the stream. But anyhow, it's coming up to the last 2 minutes and 10 seconds. On these notes, I'd like to say thank you for listening. I will give more history and more shows. It's just not enough time. I wish I had a subscription. It's just, unfortunately, I don't got an ID for a Debit Plus card or credit card, which is only 19 New Zealand dollars a year, but we'll eventually get there, because I wouldn't mind just 3 hours, and then I can definitely get into a lot of topics. Thanks, Karen, for your input. You were a big help, and also the rest that are helping in the Truth, Honour and Integrity group, and also the Open Your Minds group. But anyway, we're coming to the end of the show right now, and as we see, ET beaming out. You have a good day or night, wherever you're dotted over the globe. Sayonara. You're listening to ET on ET Radio.